What? It sounds like a kid screaming. What sort of mischief have you been up to behind my back? I went downstairs to explore outside. I snuck into a bar. It looked terrifying, but I had to check it out. What did you see? Chris, there are sheep bleating. They are bleating, clearly handling some spring lambs. They're screaming, so you just took off? No, I tried to get them to run first. I opened their door, but they didn't run. They just stood there, looking confused like they saw a ghost. They didn't run, but you could run. You can run, right? Yes. I grabbed a sheep and ran like the wind. Where did you go? I have no idea. I had no food or water. It was colder than an ice cube, and I could only save one. However, it was as heavy as a rock indeed. I barely walked a few miles when the captain's car picked me up. The LA guy was furious. He made me stay at the local motel. I've never seen an LA person before. Would you even come here? I dealt with them, and they always wake up, right? Waking up in the dark, hearing sheep bleating. Yeah, if you saved those poor Catherines, do you think it would stop all that racket? If Catherine were still alive, I'd never wake up in the dark again to hear those annoying sheep. I don't know, thanks, Claire. Tell me his name. Hannibal hasn't spilled the beans on the killer yet. Just then, visiting hours were over, and Eugene and Dr. Cheaton interrupted the chat. Brave Claire, will you let me know how to stop that pack of wolves? Tell me his name, Doctor. Claire, your case has come to an end. Goodbye for now. Goodbye, Claire. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and hope you have a blast. Life's getting tough. You really can't handle it, Claire. Meanwhile, the radio is jamming with cheerful tunes. Hannibal was as graceful as ever downstairs when the cop showed up. One Eugene was hanging around, and the other looked like a snowball. At this point, Hannibal had vanished into thin air, and the cops sealed off the whole building. Since there's only one elevator, they decided Hannibal was still stuck here. When they took the unconscious Eugene downstairs, they found a pool of blood in the elevator. Hannibal might be hiding here. When an officer opened the panel, behold, it's the dead Eugene. Meanwhile, in the ambulance, Hannibal slowly sat up, using Eugene's disguise to deceive and escape. Based on what she had mentioned earlier, Chris was able to uncover some clues. A really simple process indeed. He's covering up. How do we kick off the charade? We're covering up what we see every day, Chris realized. The killer definitely knew the first victim. Following this lead, Chris embarked on her investigation and headed straight for the victim's house. She opened the closet and found a diamond-patterned outfit, combining that with the girl's diamond-shaped skin. Chris thought something. The killer was likely a tailor, using the victim's skin for clothes. The FBI had pinned down his sketch via Hannibal's description. They were rushing to Chicago to nab the killer, while Chris knew very well Hannibal's info was sketchy at best. But she couldn't stop her boss after all. Who would believe an intern's judgment? Chris visited the victim's best friend, learned she was a tailor at Lippmann's, and coincidentally pinpointed the address. The director used montage. The cops rang. Buffalo Bill heard it, but when he opened the door, Chris was there. Chris didn't know the man was Buffalo Bill. Meanwhile, cops broke in to find the room empty. That's when the boss realized Chris was in hot water. Meanwhile, Chris inside spotted a skeleton moth and realized the man was Buffalo Bill. You're spinning around. Put your hands out behind your back and thumb down. Get lost. Chris chased after him, finding he escaped into the basement. The director ramped up the tension here to a peak. As Chris pushed deeper, she heard the girl's cries for help. But right now, she couldn't focus on saving Catherine. She had to catch the killer first. When Chris found a room, she discovered Mrs. Lippmann had long since perished in the tub. Suddenly, the lights went out. Buffalo Bill switched on night vision at that moment. Chris was like a lamb waiting for slaughter. In this showdown, Buffalo Bill was taken out on the spot. Later, Chris received accolades from her boss and became a senior agent. During the celebration party, Chris received a call urging her to tell the werewolf to stop howling. Hit that subscribe button and let's experience the magic of all this together once again.